Welcome everyone to Wanneroo Business Association's Meet the Nominees online. I would like to begin this online meeting by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land from which we are hosting this online meeting today. And I would like to pay our respects to the elders of the Noongar Nation, past, present and emerging, who have walked and cared for this land, and I acknowledge and respect their continuing culture and contributions made to the life of this city and this region. I would like to welcome everyone here today, and I would firstly like to acknowledge some of our existing board members from the Wanneroo Business Association Committee of Management. Let's start with our current president, Stephen Windsor.
Volume to 1.
If you can give a wave when I say your name. Good morning, Stephen. I would like to acknowledge our current vice president, Andy Kale. Hi, Andy.
Hello.
Our current secretary, Neve Campbell. Give us a wave, Neve. There we go. And Kate, I believe, has joined us. You don't have to put on your camera, but I just want to acknowledge we have Kate, a board member here. We also have George, a board member here with us. We also have our current treasurer, Sean Lawson. Give us a wave, Sean.
Howdy.
And we have Alice Tran from Cleverly Accounting. Hi, Alice. Great. We've got a great support. And Agatha, of course. Agatha from Execute Marketing as well. Have I missed anyone? I hope not. But great turnout today. And Amy Selleck is working behind the scenes, helping me spotlight people and moderate a few things in the background. So thanks, Amy. So today is an opportunity to get to know the members nominating for the Board of Management for Wanneroo Business Association 2024 to 2025. So just to let everybody know what the format is going to be today, we are going to have a series of short 2-minute presentations from each of our nominees. This will be conducted in an alphabetical order by first name. So Agatha will be first off the rank. Sorry, Agatha.
That's okay.
Then after that, we will follow the presentations with a Q&A session. Now, because we have quite a lot of nominees to get through today, I will be very strict on the 2-minute deadline for the attendees. Everyone is supposed to manage to say their pitch in 2 minutes, and I will be quite strict and cut people off after that. So if you are talking and you're muted, I'm sorry for your feelings, but I will have to mute you. Regards to the questions, feel free to pop your questions in the Q&A section of our online meeting today, not the chat. We're going to be using the Q&A. This is so that all the questions will come in anonymously and they will be moderated by WBA staff. So, so just to reiterate, they will be going into the Q&A. The chat feature is on, but really that's just in case you have any problems that you want to share with us throughout or something like that, but not related to the questions that you want to ask the attendees. So all questions go into the Q&A. Please feel free to pop them in there as the attendees are speaking, as the nominees are speaking. So if you think of a question as they're doing their pitch, pop it in there. They'll just basically queue in there for Amy and myself to have a look, and we'll pick the interesting questions at the end.
Sounds good.
Does anyone have any questions on that? No? If your Q&A is not working and you're happy to remain unanonymous, you know, I will just let us know now. But I think just make sure that, yeah, the Q&A would be the place to go. If you're in the chat, you're not anonymous. Okay, moving on. Before we hear from each of the members nominating to join our Committee of Management today, I just wanted to first say a few thank yous. So thank you, first of all, to all the nominees for putting yourselves forward and for your support for the Wanneroo Business Association. Thank you also to all our current serving Committee of Management members for your dedication and support. And just to let you know that Alice Tran, George Cortesas, Kate Keeley, and Sean Lawson are all mid-term. They do not need to go to election this time around. So those 4 parties will remain on the Committee of Management going forward. We have some existing board members who are at the end of their term and need to renominate for their positions. These parties are Agatha de Fonseca from Execute Marketing, Andy Kale from Andy K Design, Neve Campbell from First Class Accounts Wanneroo, and Stephen Windsor, Pasco Partners. Stephen will not be renominating as president once you have your 2-year term. I'm afraid that's it. So Stephen will be renominating as a board member. I would also like to thank Russell Sumner from Shield Law and David Margetson from Print Integrity, who stepped down earlier this year, and those positions are up for nomination. So this is the 9th consecutive year that we've received more nominations to join the Committee of Management than available positions. So this is a great position for us to be in for a not-for-profit, and no doubt sets us up for success. We've received 9 nominations for 6 positions. So there will be some disappointed people, and we will be disappointed as well to say goodbye to 3 of the nominees at the AGM. However, you know, it's so valuable what you're doing, and please, you know, if you don't get in, try again next time. You know, we value your contribution, we value your enthusiasm, and we would hate to think that because you don't get on this year that you wouldn't try again. So one last thing before we start. As per the WBA rules, office holders, so that is our president, our vice president, our treasurer, and our secretary, they must be nominated from existing Committee of Management members. And so they are decided by the committee prior to the AGM. So at the last committee meeting, the board voted formally for the following people to fill those roles, obviously pending re-election in some cases. So those roles going forward will be president will be filled by Andy Kale from Andy K Design. Vice President Neve Campbell will be stepping up for vice president pending her re-election. Secretary position will be filled by Kate Keeley, who does not need to re-elect. And our treasurer position will remain with Sean Lawson, who again is mid-term and doesn't need to re-elect. So with all that information under our belts, we will move on now to the next part of our facilitation this morning and what we're here for. So this is the exciting part for me. Okay, so nominees, I will invite you up one at a time into the spotlight where you will introduce yourself, take your time. I would like you to share in your 2 minutes some of the reasons why you're nominating for the Committee of Management. As I mentioned, you will have 2 minutes, so I will stop you after 2 minutes. I will interrupt as nicely as I can. Yeah, so I will be very strict, and so I have a little timer on my watch here. All right. So without further ado, and we can all take a nice deep breath before we start. Agatha de Fonseca from Execute Marketing. Okay, I'll let you know when you can start. You're all spotlighted now. Are you okay?
I'm ready to go.
All ready to go. All right, lovely. Well done for being first off the mark. Agatha, would you like to introduce yourself and say your pitch?
Sure. So good morning, everyone. My name is Agatha Fonseca, and I'm the owner of Execute Marketing, a small marketing consultancy, and I'm seeking support for re-election to the board this year. So over the last 2 years, I've had a great privilege of serving the WBA and contributing to its growth and success. So a couple of the reasons as to why I would love to be renominated and still be part of the committee of management. And one of the key areas, I guess, and contributions where I think I can make an impact has been recently with leading and facilitating our comprehensive 3-year strategic planning process. So this initiative was designed basically to set a clear and ambitious direction for the association, so ensuring that we stay ahead in an ever-evolving business environment. And the strategic plan that we've developed as a group it's not just a document, but it's a roadmap to our future. And it's all about being, fostering growth, innovation, and community engagement. So by being able to lead and facilitate this process, I feel like I can really contribute back to WBA, which will benefit our members going forward. In addition to this, I've also have been involved in the, back of the scenes in WBA with helping the team manage changes to our internal and external systems, including sort of our website technology and back-end processes. I think these changes are crucial for enhancing our operational efficiency, plus improving our member experience. And I'm really committed to seeing these projects through, especially because I think the work that we've done so far in the last couple of years, we're in a really good place to basically benefit their members. Beyond these specific initiatives, I bring over 15 years of experience in marketing, and including 5 of those running my own small business. I have a huge passion for business and the local community, and I think that together with my experience and the things that I've contributed to WBA so far. Oh, there we go.
Lovely. There you go.
That went so quickly.
It did go quickly.
I had a timer going too, but thank you.
Well done. That's fantastic. I think, did you manage to get everything in that you wanted to say? I think
pretty much bar one line. So
okay. Well, hopefully you can bring that into your Q&A at the end.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, Agatha. Okay, the second nominee that will be introducing themselves today is Andy Kale from Andy K Design. I'm sure we all know Andy fairly well, but this is Andy's chance to bring it all together and let us know what are the reasons why she put so much time into the WBA and the board, and why she wants to carry on. So, Andy, are you all good to start?
Good to go.
Okay, when you're ready.
Hi everyone, I'm Andy from Andy K Design, and I'm thrilled to be running for another term on the board. As many of you know, I'm not your typical board member. I bring a unique blend of innovation, passion, and community spirit to the association. And I believe that's exactly what we need to continue growing and thriving. I've been a member of the WBA for about 7 years, and I've had the privilege of connecting with many of you through business as well as socially. And I understand the challenges and the opportunities that come with running a business, because I've actually lived them myself over the past 16 years of running my own business. But more importantly, I know firsthand what the members need and what they want, because you guys share your stories with me and your worries and your hopes when we catch up at events. People often see board members as stuffy old men making financial decisions for the greater good, but the WBA is not like that. Our association is vibrant, diverse, and full of life, and our board should always reflect that. And that's why I'm here, to bring a fresh perspective and a reminder of the community spirit that makes WBA so special. As a business owner, a charity founder, and a race driver, I wear multiple hats, sometimes a helmet. So I understand the importance of working together as a team. Our goal should always be to help every business, no matter what the size, to grow and to prosper. And if we can do that in a fun and interactive way, even better. So I'm asking you to think outside the old stereotype and ensure that we keep the innovation, the passion, the community spirit at the table to make WBA a place where businesses can thrive, grow, and support each other. Thank you.
Wow, look at that. 4 seconds to go. Lovely, Andy. Thank you very much. Wonderful.
The timing down pat.
Yes, I think she might have done that before. Wonderful. Thank you, Andy. Okay, we're going to be moving on to our next nominee now. We have Erica Williams from My Practice Success Partner, which is one of her many hats, which I'm sure she will tell you about in a moment. So we will just spotlight Erica. Erica, you're in Melbourne this morning.
Yes, I am.
So a little bit later in the day for you.
Yep, it's just gone. It's 12:19 now because we were obviously the 2 hours ahead of you guys.
Yes, yeah. You must be thinking about lunch. All right, lovely. All right, Erica, when you're ready.
So as the guys have already said, my name is Erica Williams and I run a business called My Practice Success Partner. And one of the divisions that I run it under is my business success is under that, and build your own business. So I have to apologize. I am normally not somebody that has a problem speaking, but put a camera in front of me and I go absolutely mute. So
Okay.
I will try and get out as much as I can through this whole thing. And I've taken a little bit of notes. So the reason why I've put up my name this year, I've been involved with the WBA for quite some time, and I have sort of evolved my businesses over time, and specifically when it came to COVID in 2020, it became my sort of driving passion to help small business navigate through this whole new business platform that has evolved as a result of COVID. Because during this time, I actually saw so many small businesses fail through no fault of their own, and one of the prime issues that came out of this COVID issue was that a lot of businesses only had one revenue stream, and when that was cut off, they had nothing to sustain themselves. And so that's where I've actually gone back to the drawing board and skilled myself and went back to try and find solutions for small business and help them navigate this whole new landscape, because all of us had to literally throw out the rule book and bring in a new rule book as to how we're going to manage our businesses going forward. And from this, it's been my driving passion to help small business. And I think that the WBA is one of those platforms where I can actually help small businesses navigate this very new platform that we're living under, and also to help them discover new revenue streams so that they can sustain themselves in the future. And I hope that you would consider my humble skills in being able to bring what I've learned through the last 35 years as in the accounting profession, and now also with reskilling and finding out what business owners need, that I can bring that passion and skill to the WBA.
Thank you, Erica. That's your 2 minutes up. It went very fast, didn't it? Well done. I'm sure it's not easy having that that spotlight, and you have to get out everything that you want to get out in such a short amount of time. But so it's great that you've put your passion across for the reason why you want to help small businesses, which is wonderful. Thank you, Erica. Okay, moving on to our next nominee, we have Greg Hebel. Greg, where are you? I can't see you on my screen. There you are, Greg. Lovely. Okay, so you're now spotlighted. So Greg, I will leave you your 2 minutes to introduce yourself properly and to explain your reasons why you want to join the WBA board when you're ready.
Thanks, Elle. For those that I haven't met, my name is Greg Hebel. I'm thrilled to be here today to nominate as a nominee for the Wanneroo Business Association board. Thank you for this opportunity. I just want to share a few things about myself. As an active member of the community sector in WA for 15 years, I believe my experience in bringing organisations together will assist the Wanneroo Business Association. I've spent 12 years as CEO of Foodbank WA, 12 months as the CEO of DV Assist, and the last 2 years locally for Wheelchairs for Kids Australia. During this time, I was also a director of WACOS, which is WA Council of Social Services. This exposure, along with the 25 years that I've also got in the grocery industry, has given me a deep understanding of the challenges and the opportunities we face as business owners. My goals, if elected to the board, I'd like to focus on 2 key areas: supporting local businesses I'd like to be looking at creating initiatives that provide practical support to local businesses, including organising workshops and networking events to help bringing like-minded people together. We need people and businesses to spend locally. I'd also like to be enhancing the community engagement. A strong business community is built on collaboration and mutual support. I aim to strengthen the connections between local businesses and community organisations. By fostering a spirit of cooperation, we can create a more vibrant and resilient local economy. I'm passionate about the potential of being on the Wanneroo board, the Wanneroo Business Community Board, and excited about the opportunities to continue the continued success. Together, we can build a supportive and dynamic environment where all businesses can thrive. So thank you very much for the opportunity, and I look forward to meeting you all along the journey and also at the AGM, and wish all of the other nominees all the very best in their endeavours.
Wonderful. Right on time as well. Thank you so much, Greg. That's fantastic. Okay, we have now heard from 4 of our nominees, so we are nearly at the halfway mark. I hope everyone's holding up okay. Okay, so time to have a little sip of the water, coffee, and we will move on to our next nominee. So the next nominee for the Wanneroo Business Association Board of Management is Kayla. Kayla, how are you this morning?
Look, I just wanted to firstly thank everyone for coming and listening to everyone today and the existing team and board members. Those of you I don't know, my name's Kayla, and my business is HR Department, Northern Suburbs, Perth. We're an outsourced provider specifically designed for small and medium-sized businesses, and we provide outsourced HR solutions to SMEs. My passion is around ensuring businesses in our market are compliant, they build productive and thriving workplaces and teams, and that they're also profitable. That's my main goal and mission in my business. I started the business, I have a 2.5-year-old. I started the business and I was in corporate background in disability and aged care for quite some time prior to starting the business last year. So I'm a new business owner. I have learnt so many things over the past 18 months. I've met some amazing people. WBA has been literally a foundation for me to meet new people, network, connect with local businesses. And I just want to give back to, I guess, the platform and the connections that I already have, and to create so many more connections along the way. So for me, it's about making sure that, again, we're all profitable and that we're all actually making a difference in the community. And I think my skill set in the HR and people space and change management would actually be a really a different skill set that's not already present on the board, and I could bring that into my everyday use and to help other businesses at the WBA and the community. Kayla from HR Department, thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Kayla. Lovely use of time there, nice and succinct. Very good. Okay, thank you, Kayla. Next on the list, we have Melissa Alquist from Little Biz. Melissa, pop your hand up there. There she is. Okay, you are now spotlighted, Melissa. So when you're ready, you may begin your 2-minute pitch.
Hello, everyone. As Elle said, I'm Melissa. I am from Little Biz. I'm actually a multi-passionate. So whilst I introduce myself from Little Biz, I actually have 3 of my own little businesses, like micro businesses. And then I also run Mr. Retic with my husband. So we've been in the small business space for a lot of years. We've had a at-home business. We've employed people in our home. We've then moved to an office space. I've worked in small business with my in-laws' family business, and they had employees, and I did training and stuff. So we've been in that small business space and for many, many years. And I just really love, bringing people together. I love the community. I love networking and sharing with people and offering support. Just in a conversation, it's not even a, hey, make an appointment with me. It's like, hey, have you thought about this? As we're having a chat. So I'm a super authentic person, as you've probably, if you've met me and you've chatted to me, I am what you get. And I just love bringing people together. I'm an advisor on the digital solutions program with Business Foundations at the moment. I'm a website designer, but I also do small business mentoring and things like that. But I'm also on the business and tourism advisory group with the City of Wanneroo. They sought me out and asked me to apply. So I was like, oh my goodness. And I'm also on the marketing committee of the WBA already. So it is a space that I love. I am a natural introvert. I do not enjoy networking. So joining the WBA was a huge step for me. I was on the outskirts for quite a while. And now that I'm in there and I've made some relationships, you guys are just amazing. And so I want to come and help foster that.
Thank you, Mel. I really didn't want to cut you off when you were just saying how wonderful we were. But yeah, that's your 2 minutes up. So thank you so much. Well done. Okay. You can breathe now. All right, moving on. The next person we have nominating today or renominating for her position is Neve Campbell from First Class Accounts Wanneroo. As mentioned, Neve is our current secretary. She is renominating, and if successful, will be moving into the vice president position. So let's hear what Neve has to say about the WBA. When you're ready, Neve.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming out this morning. I'm Neve, and I'm thrilled to be putting myself forward for another term on the WBA board. Over the past 2 years, I've had the honour of serving on the board, including the last year as secretary. During that time, I've enjoyed giving back to the community and watching the local businesses thrive, especially after the crappy couple of years we had before that. My journey with the WBA began nearly 8 years ago when my dad, Eamon, and I first started First Class Accounts Wanneroo. Being part of the vibrant community and working alongside local business owners has given me some joy and brought some passion back into me. And it's been really good I'm a little bit like Mel and a little bit of an introvert. So getting out there and meeting people has been really good. As a board member, my mission has been to spread the word of the WBA and support the association in achieving some great things. I believe that I've got a solid understanding of where the WBA has been and where we're headed. I've had some hands-on experience now, and I do have lots of enthusiasm for the WBA. So I think that sets me apart a little bit, and I'm committed to continuing to make a positive impact. If re-elected, I will continue to advocate for the WBA and help our community grow. Everybody's support means everything, so come along to the AGM and cast your vote for the future of our board. And that's me.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Neve. Great. Okay, thank you very much. We're down to the last 2 nominees. And the next up we have in our pitching is Stephen Windsor from Pascoe Partners Accountants. Stephen is our current president. Stephen, when you're ready.
Yeah, I've never managed this in 2 minutes, so I'm going to have to rush through it because I promised myself I would. For those members not yet familiar with my background, my career over the last 24 plus years has been in international corporate services, which is running businesses for clients all over the world. Business advisory, as you probably know, with my role at Pascoe Partners Accountants, and I even had a little bit of time in there to set up a business of my own. Throughout my life, from as far back as I can remember, I've always had a need to help people, whether it's been in my work or my personal life. I'm a volunteer director on the board of Kingsway Community Bank, which many people know is a profit-for-purpose organisation helping customers change lives by returning their profits to the community. I'm also a director of an Australian registered charity called the PTSD Research Foundation WA, which is aiming to be the world's leading research and educational centre of excellence on PTSD and traumatic stress. More recently, I joined the board of Pause for Wildlife, Inc., whose aim is to create the first translocation site stage rehabilitation and education centre for animals and wildlife in WA. I joined the WBA about 5+ years ago because I'm passionate about helping the businesses of my local community. I'm from Clarkson. My last 4 years as president and board member has been a fantastic journey, meeting and helping so many wonderful business owners and community group leaders. It has provided me with amazing opportunities for both personal and professional development, while allowing me to use my skills and knowledge as a business advisor to make tangible changes to the WBA and its members. Elle, Amy, and my fellow volunteer board members have done such an amazing job transforming the WBA. It would be such an honour and a privilege to be able to continue to service my fellow WBA members and seize the massive opportunities that face the association and to be able to take it to great new heights. Yes.
Wow.
Fitted
Beep,
it in.
beep, 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 beep.
Wow, never.
Well done, Stephen. That is
Thank
an
you.
achievement.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Okay. Now, don't forget, everybody, we have our Q&A going in the background here. So if you have you got some ideas for questions as you're going along, please feel free to pop them in the Q&A, just so that we have a few questions to start us off after we hear from our last nominee. So our last but not least nominee today is Tony Adescott from the CT Dynamic. Tony, good morning. Are you ready to go, Tony?
I'm ready.
All right, when you are, off you go. 2 minutes starts now.
Hi everyone, Tony's my name, and I have to say I'm almost thinking I should withdraw, having watched the excellence of those presentations you've already seen. But I'm not campaigning for membership of a stand-up comedy club, so I'm not very good in front of the camera. But Tony's my name. I'm a married man. I live in Duncraig, and I've been active in the community around here as a small businessman since about the mid-80s. So I'm a bit older than some of you, but I can bring you lots of experience. I have a startup business called the CT Dynamic. The CT stands for Communication and Trust, and the CT Dynamic is in fact a metric which measures the quality of relationships between people and their employers, customers, stakeholders generally. I'm old enough and ugly enough to know that business is really about people. It's not about finance and technology. It's about relationships, and that is where my expertise lies. Relationships are, after all, the value proposition offered by business associations, and it seems to me that I can help in that space quite considerably. As I said, I've been in small business for about 40 odd years. A lot of experience in the governance space. For what it's worth, I've been on probably half a dozen corporate boards of different types, small businesses. I'm a member of the Institute of Company Directors. I'm a member of CEDA, if that means anything to anyone. So it gives me an opportunity to talk to people at high level about things that affect small business as a whole. And I guess that's where my passion lies, because I think small business is the value of small business to the national economy is totally and utterly disrespected. And I think there's time for us in small business to actually make that case to government. I've had a few successes over the years, and I've made a few.
Thank you, Tony. Sorry, I'm going to have to cut you off there. That 2 minutes went very quickly.
Too quickly. But
Too quickly. Did you have much more to say?
Did I have what? No, not really.
Okay, well, hopefully you'll be able to fit some of that into our Q&A session. So mental note, everybody, if anyone wants to ask the question about what successes we've had over the years, maybe Tony will be able to finish off what he was about to say. So thank you so much, everybody, for your pictures this morning. That was wonderful to get an insight into the nominees. So we will be moving on now to our Q&A section. I will try and keep this to approximately 10 minutes, depending on the amount of questions that we received today. So everyone get your thinking caps on and pop a question into the Q&A. It would be great to be able to ask everybody a question today. So nobody's going to be getting out of it. Sorry. All right, we're going to start with our first question, which is in our Q&A this morning. Okay, I'm going to pose this question back to Agatha to start with, because you haven't spoken for a long time. So, Agatha, what's one new idea, a new event or a new service that you might propose for the WBA to grow membership of the organisation? So what's one new idea, could be an event or a service or some idea unrelated to those things, that you propose for WBA to grow membership?
I think a really good opportunity for WBA is to offer, I guess, supporting paid services in specific sort of industries. So it could be marketing, it could be bookkeeping, it could be a real specialist niche, I guess, training and service offering. I think that will help members get specific needs met. It also helps create a cost center opportunity for WBA. And I think that's going to enhance, our offering over and above. It's those real technical areas which business owners might need support in or want help in, that they might not have the opportunity to go outside. And then that means that WBA then can extend its services and build the bottom line. So.
Yep. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Agatha. I'm going to pose the same question to somebody else on the board. So let's, so everyone's probably scared now which one I'm going to pick, but I'm going to pick Kayla. So Kayla, I'm sure that you have plenty of ideas coming into the board from your background, potentially for an event or for a service that you think maybe the WBA could offer to basically to increase membership, but maybe also to service our existing members, but just something that you think is going to bring some new members to the WBA. What do you think, Kayla? Have you got any ideas?
That's a really, I was going to say, really good question. I have been currently working, I guess, in the board at the moment on the governance side of things. So I think my focus has probably been on some of the work that we've been doing in that space. As I'm not an existing board member, I do understand some of the elements of how things operate and work, but I don't have that full view picture as yet. So it would be a little bit, hard to say exactly how everything worked, but some of the, I think for some of the, what's it called? Exactly. I was actually thinking the work that you guys are doing at the moment around the small businesses coming in and being able to actually do paid work, and I agree with Agatha's
the paid workshop opportunities.
Yeah, well, I think it's just about getting involved in other areas of Perth as well. So even though we're in Wanneroo, but having that kind of that reach around WBA and the name and the brand out there in and around, I don't think it's I don't think it hurts in any way, shape or form to making sure that we're getting involved in other aspects of community as well. So I've always been a huge supporter of, I think, the work that you guys are already doing in the space of the local workshops. I know Neve's running one about to be running one currently on. I think they are just absolutely really, really purposeful in what's going on. And they're also allowing people to, one, showcase their business and what they do. The second thing is that other people in the WBA are allowed to come along to get those services. So I think some more of that, I would like to see personally some more of that happening, because I think it's about making sure that we've got other things happening in the memberships and the brand is getting out there. But I also think it's about supporting where people actually need it. And the thing that I'm seeing in my business at the moment is that people don't know what they don't know. and there's some real elements of just people are just almost blindsided by some of these other things, especially in the HR space. There's lots of businesses operating with staff that just have absolutely, they don't know what they don't know. And sometimes some of the conversations we have, they're a little bit sort of blindsided by what is actually compliance. What does compliance look like in their business? I'm sure it's the same in the bookkeeping realm, the accounting realm, some of those other services areas. So that would be, I think, the actual real support is where things actually need to be coming through for the members, so that they're actually taking something back and actually adding value to themselves and their businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much, Kayla. We're going to move on to another question. Okay. So, along similar lines, but probably focusing more on our existing membership. Our goal is obviously to keep our members engaged, provide support for them. But does anyone have any suggestions or ideas on how to increase that member engagement? We do have a core group of members who make the most of our services. There are a contingent of members who prefer to stay in the background. Perhaps that's where they want to be, that's fine, but potentially, does anyone have any ideas or suggestions on how to increase that member engagement for everyone? So particularly for people that are busy, they might not be able to make it to the events, but they still want to stay involved with the WBA. So, so other ideas to keep those members engaged. I'm going to go to, sorry, Neve put a hand up, and who?
Tony.
And Tony. Okay, all right. Well, let's go to Tony first.
Look, I think suggestions I have in that context are that as a business association, we need to forge better communication and involvement with our community. And I think we should be able to do that in partnership with some of the 630 odd charities that operate in the northern suburbs. I think there are ways in which employees and employers can work together to help charities support their constituencies. And we're working on, I am in fact a director of the Fortuna Foundation in Balcatta, and we're looking at that as an active proposition for the future at the moment. The other thing is, I think that none of the associations around town that I know focus actually on showing their members how they can grow their businesses and their social involvement through their relationships. And that is something which I'm more than happy to bring to the WBA if the members are interested.
Very interesting. Thank you, Tony. And we're going to pose the same question to. So, Neve, you did have your hand up or not? You did. Okay, we're going to go with Neve. Yeah.
I'm a big believer in. I'm a big believer in thanking people for doing great work as well. So I believe that the online forum could be used a little bit more effectively, with more people jumping on saying they use the service or they're recommending a service, because I know back when we first started, that forum was the go-to place for me to find services or something, products that I was looking for. And I think especially for people who aren't able to get to events or they're struggling, it's a really good way of interacting with the other businesses that we've got a really good members base, so that if we could interact with people on that forum, it would make a difference.
Absolutely. Thank you, Neve. And we'll just go to Greg also, who has his hand up. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Elle. I was just wanted to get on the back of what Tony just said about involving local businesses with local charities. I think we need to hold more meetings with those charities, like our coffee catch-ups, which we did here recently, which was fantastic. It gives that first-hand explanation and demonstration to what's actually happening in your community. And the other thing is that I'm not sure, obviously not being involved in the board before, I think we need to hold some of those coffee catch-ups and meetings in local sporting clubs. So we can actually start talking with the members of the community who are actually active in the community, but explaining to them not only what local businesses that are there, but again on that local charity. And I mentioned local charity, that's not because I work for one, but I think the synergies between local businesses and charity is very important because you're helping each other. And I think people are tend to more wanting to give back when they know it's going straight back into the community in some way, whether that's local business or the community charity.
Wonderful. Thank you, Greg. Okay, everyone, we're going to be moving on to our next question. Obviously, if people do want to jump in with their hand, I am happy to go to those people, but I will be picking people if there is no hands up. So moving on to our next question here. Small not-for-profit organisations in our community are struggling to keep up with demand in current housing crisis. Is it just not-for-profit organisations? Maybe it is just small businesses in general, but what role can WBA play in supporting these small businesses? Okay, so this is specifically, talking about not-for-profits. So someone specifically saying small not-for-profit organisations in our community are struggling to keep up with demand in current housing crisis. What role can WBA play in supporting these small not-for-profits to provide essential services in our community? So we are a not-for-profit. Okay, does anyone have an answer to that question? I will go to Greg and I will go to Andy as well. So let's start with Andy first, actually, because Andy, you've not answered before.
Well, I can actually say that as a current board member, recently Steve and I had the pleasure of meeting with the mayor and also with, I'm pretty sure he was the housing minister, the National Housing Minister. And they actually asked us directly for information. So that's sort of one way that the WBA is able to interact on behalf of the members, is that we listen to the problems and the issues that they've got, and we do have the ear of the relevant ministers, and we do have the ear of the mayor. And we do get invited to these roundtables where they ask us what our members want. So it's very, very handy to be there on the ground.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just mindful of the time, so I do appreciate you've got your hand up there, Greg and Tony, but I'm also mindful that some people have not answered questions yet. So I will move on to another question here. Okay, so we're all members of WBA. So somebody has asked, as a member of the WBA, what are 3 areas where you believe the WBA could improve? And what initiatives would you propose to enhance performance in these areas? So 3 areas. I mean, if people can't think of 3, that's fine. But if anyone has any ideas of where we can improve in the WBA membership, please pop your hand up. Melissa.
Sorry, I had to unmute. I think one of the areas where the WBA does need a bit of zhuzhing is particularly in that micro business space. You know, the startups, they kind of like, and I know it's a financial thing, and then I know like we need the finances to be coming in because obviously we have stuff to pay, but then there's kind of a bit of a barrier there for those startups, those micro businesses. So I think one of those areas, I think that's one of the areas where it is kind of being missed, because we're missing the opportunity to nurture them so that they can then take on an employee, they can grow their business, they can, you know, be something to grow the community, because then they're growing. Yeah, that's one of my.
And how do you think we might do that? What specific initiative, or what initiative do you think might help these micro businesses, Melissa?
I'm thinking
anything in mind?
One thing that I was thinking was something that we can do to cater directly for those micro businesses. And it might be like say an online expo for them, or a platform where they can promote themselves, or they can connect and be able to say, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do, I'm still tiny baby, but I need some help in this area. And it might even be having a mentoring relationship, that we're able to say, hey, we've got all of these big business, well, I say big businesses, but you know what I mean, experienced people, let's just hook you up with somebody and give you that mentoring ability to grow, to learn stuff, so that, it's like a pay it forward type thing, I think, as well. Like, we love to give, and I think sometimes we don't have the people that we're able to mentor and bring up with us. So
thank you, Mel. And Erica, did you have something to add to that question?
So one of the things that I have been sort of talking specifically to you about as well is that I've been part of a BNI, and I've been part of sort of other networking groups. And one of the things that I sort of wanted to see a little bit more of is in the WBA is actually networking with a purpose, and setting specific things that you want to get out of the coffee meetings, and whereas the BNI, they're very structured and very focused on giving referrals and receiving referrals and recording those referrals. And I think that in a large degree, because we don't know how well we're doing, it seems to be falling through the cracks. So we actually don't know that the networking efforts that we do, going to the coffee clubs and going to all of these events, are they actually benefiting our businesses? There's no metrics or thing to measure that. Then the other thing that I also want to see is, I think his name is Zeb. I'm terrible with names. Was it Zeb? He brought a young trainee to one of the events, and that sort of got me going. And it's been something that's been in the back of my mind, is that 98% of Australian industry is made up of small business, but the sad reality of that is 45% of those businesses fail within the first 4 years. And in order for us to grow and develop the business association more, and to keep the membership going, is young blood. We need to basically culture those young relationships and bring in youth, and go to schools and approach the schools of bringing those people in, and perhaps have an evening where everybody can come and sort of like almost like a what am I going to do when I grow up sort of type of scenario, where we can basically explain to them what our businesses are, and what is involved in running one of those businesses, so that they can get an idea of, when they leave school, that they can actually start their own business, and we can then foster them and help them grow into the entrepreneurs that they want to be one day.
Yeah. Thank you, Erica. It was actually Z, so you were close. Yeah. And Stephen, we're going to, if you've got something to add onto this same question.
Yeah, I had 3 areas, some of which we've already, at the WBA, we've already started to look at, and we've had discussions around. The first one, community engagement. Through the WBA and my role at Pasco Partners, I recently ran a workshop with the City of Wanneroo on for communities. The leaders of some of our great community organisations out there. I provided training on a number of different topics, but the idea behind this was to give them an insight into the not-for-profit world, but how to think of that as a business, and to become sustainable, to then lead into future workshops of a more detailed topic. Bringing those community groups into our fold has always been something I've been very passionate about. We started obviously with the Community in the Spotlight, And I think we can improve on that area, continuing with these types of workshops. The second one was about retention of, well, it's more to do with helping those struggling businesses who were, every association, business association around WBA are suffering with businesses going under, especially the micro businesses. We tend to find they struggle to be open and honest with us, to tell us about their struggles. I believe we need to find ways, and that can be working with the City of Wanneroo, to be able to get the message out that the WBA there are to support them, and we can help them through those really tough times. We've got the people, some fantastic members who are willing to give up their time to help them out, and and deal with those bumps in the road, rather than people sat at home stressed about what the future may hold and deciding to close down when there could be other options for their business. And finally, I've got quite a few friends who are in the tradie industry, so trying to bring those into the fold. Some of them are members, you'll see them from our member database, but trying to find different events or different timed events that suit their needs. They work different hours to most of us. They have different needs, different wants. So looking at different types of events that bring them back into the fold again.
Thank you, Stephen. Okay, we do have one specific question for Tony. Sorry, Tony, you're on the spot here. Tony, your question is, how do you plan to address and manage any potential conflict of interest while serving on the board of both the Stirling and the Wanneroo Business Association? So I think you mentioned in your bio that you were on both boards. And I will open this up afterwards to others, because everyone serves on boards, but specifically for Tony, those particular boards, how do you plan to address and manage potential conflicts of interest?
Right. First of all, I don't believe there is a conflict of interest to be managed. A conflict of interest is a matter of perception. I have no perception of conflict, for the simple reason that my interest in the small business world is to advance the welfare of that sector as a whole. I can do that as a member of more than one board, and that is really why I made the point that I think the small business sector as a whole needs promotion and better understanding and more support. And for that reason, I can do that equally effectively from Stirling or from Wanneroo or from Joondalup, of which I'm also a member. So I'm happy to debate this with whoever raised the issue of conflict, because I do realise it's a matter of perception. But I'm more than happy to put my skills to the test in my ability to prove my value to the association if I'm elected.
Thank you, Tony. And I will just open this up in general, because I'm sure we are all on different boards, and maybe there may be not such perceived direct conflicts of interest, but we all have to spread ourselves across lots of different commitments. So in general, I know we are all very involved in lots of different things as nominees. How do you guys plan to manage your time and dedicate the time that you need to for the WBA when you have so many other commitments? Would anyone like to answer that question? Stephen, you've got your hand up, or is that from before?
Oh, either. I don't mind either.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, going back to the conflict of interest, obviously that has to come down to the individual and as well as the organisation, and making sure that you've got robust conflict of interest policies in there. Obviously, from an individual point of view, you have to make sure that wherever there are potential conflicts, that you are very transparent about the possibility of those at every single meeting where relevant, and making sure that you step down and out of that. So I do believe the WBA has a very strong conflicts of interest policy, but it only works well when the individual concerned is able to contribute to that policy. The question around time on other boards, one of the things I'm a big fan of is making sure that those boards that I'm involved on are very efficient. And a lot of what I see at the WBA and how efficient we are, and this is obviously goes back quite a number of years, where we as board members, we don't try to do absolutely everything ourselves. We bring into that fold again members of our association to help us out, to take that burden off. But I'm in a very lucky position at Pascoe Partners Accountants that obviously we have a very strong community mind, and the need to, or the desire to help those business and community organisations out there. So I'm actually given some of that time in my normal day-to-day work to be able to help those out. But it comes down to, I think, to the passion that you have. So people quite often ask me about work-life balance, and to me, work-life balance isn't about the number of hours that you work. It's about how much you enjoy the hours that you are working, and then making sure that that is then translated into your home life. And so I always find that if I'm having a great time on some of these boards, it might take a little bit of time, but when I go home, I'm really in a positive space, and that will help my family.
Lovely. And Melissa, just to finish off, did you have something to add?
I did. I just, I have people ask me all the time, how do you manage it all? Because as I said at the beginning, I'm multi-passionate. I also help Dave in his business. I've got 2 children. And it is about making sure that where we are and where we're volunteering is where we are feeling that we're making a difference, and we are working as such as we are imparting our experience and our knowledge and our funness. So I'm actually stepping back off of a board or a committee that I'm part of, simply because I'm not a valued member of that board. So it's being able to recognize where you fit. And I think when you know where you fit and you're in that industry and it aligns with what you're doing, then that's somewhere where you're going to put your focus and you're going to enjoy doing that, and you will make the time for that. Whereas when you don't enjoy it, FYI, the committee I'm stepping down from is the ATV and motocross committee. I was kind of bullied onto that one. So, I think that's a really important part, and that's, people who are putting their hand up to step up and say, hey, I want to be on this board, generally is because that is where their passion lies.
Yeah, lovely. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Before we finish today, does anyone have anything they would like to add before we go? No? Okay, I hope it's been very valuable for everyone today, and I just want to thank you all again for your time this morning and for your wonderful pitches and for answering all the crazy questions that we've thrown at you this morning. You will find further information on our nominees in our WBA member forum. So there are a few bios in there. If you haven't given that to me yet, there's still time. We can pop that up for everyone to have a look at. So have a look at that. Please, we do encourage everyone to buy a ticket. No, not buy a ticket. Our AGM is free. Our AGM is free this year. So please register for a ticket to our AGM. Gosh, that was on the run sheet from last year. No, we don't need to buy a ticket. It's a free event this year. We want to encourage as many members as possible to come along and cast your vote for the future of WBA. So that's on the Thursday, the 18th of July next week at the Wanneroo Villa Tavern Function Centre. So please jump on the events page on our website and book in. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, again. I really hope you have a wonderful day, and we will see you all again very soon.
Good luck, everyone.
Good
See you
luck.
guys.
Bye.
Good luck. Bye.